Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. We are in the back to school season and the center of gravity is education. On Press R today, we should look at how decentralization is impacting education. And to talk about this very topical and sensitive topic, we have invited specialists, experts from these areas, people who are directly concerned with this. And we have with us a traditional ruler, His Royal Highness Nasako Daniel Molondo IV. He is the traditional ruler of Baron Bimbo in Kumba. We are really pleased, Chief, to have you on this set. You traveled all the way from Kumba to Yaoundé for this program to talk about this very topical issue. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for extending your invitation to me.
Yes, let me switch to the extreme right of the set to welcome another person who has traveled from Douala to Yaoundé for Press R. I'm talking about Mr. Kanjo Daniel. Mr. Kanjo Daniel is the PNDP Regional Coordinator for the Littoral. Welcome to this program.
Thank you very much, Kilian, and it's a pleasure for me to attend your very big show.
Yes, nobody should ask why you, because we know about the National Community-Driven Program for Development. We used to have it as participatory in local balance, but officially it's a program for development. And those of us who have worked in remote areas, in areas like in the far north, in the north, in the east, where you need development more than other areas, you know exactly what PNDP has been doing in those places. When I talk, I'm talking about what I've seen. I know you're going to tell us what PNDP has done to improve on our drive, the national drive on decentralization and local development. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and now I'm going to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Ernest Chongu, who is the Director of Human Resources in the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development. You know, when we talk about decentralization, there's no way we cannot go to the ministry, competent ministry, and the Director himself of Human Resources, Ernest Chongu, is here. Once again, you are known on Press R. Each time we extend a hand of fellowship, you come to Press R. Thank you very much.
Should be the one thanking you for bringing me once more to the show. And I hope that by the end of the day, the small contributions we'll have given here will go a long way to enlighten the public as far as decentralization is concerned, especially in the domain of education.
That's a trademark of your personality, humility. Each time you say so many big things, you qualify them as small things. Thank you very much. We respect you for that. And our own Nimpa, Francis Nimpa, is a journalist. He has traveled also from Bamenda to Yaoundé. He is a journalist with Radio Hot Cocoa in Bamenda. You're welcome to Press R.
Thanks for inviting me, Kilian. It's a pleasure. Good afternoon, televiewers. And I'm happy to be here. Just permit me give a quick one to those watching us from Naka. Naka is in Bali, where I come from. And of course, to my sweet mom, Mami Naso Elizabeth, who is watching us from Chusam, still in Bali.
Thank you. We should greet all the mothers.
Yes.
Your mother, Mami, should be very proud of you. How hot is the cocoa in Bamenda?
Well, as hot as usual. The hot cocoa is more than 20 years old.
Okay.
And we have remained hot for the past 20 years.
Thank you for your contributions to development in the private communication sector. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we propose to you the press review for Press R, and that is the kicker before we go into our debate. Emanuela Vemni read the newspapers for us. Emanuela?
Newspapers in Cameroon stood up for back to school in their different columns. The Dawn announces over 1,000 institutions set for back to school in the southwest region, especially as PM Dion Gute gives huge quantity of school needs to students in Ikondo Titi in Cameroon Acres, and Fako Women in Dingue donate scholarships to meritorious students in volcanic times. And so there is no time to waste in Cameroon Insider, as silencing guns in Northwest and Southwest should be the in thing in the wake of school resumption in municipal updates. Yet the Herald Tribune hints of Bamenda on red alert, and in no time it is Operation Dead Campus as military invades PC Aziri and occupies classrooms in breaking news Bileng. Then teachers' trade unions bemoan school boycotts, appealing for repairs of vandalized schools in the Post newspaper. Bamenda Archbishop Andrew Nkeyao wins hearts for video calling on children to go back to school in the horizon. At the same time, the Guardian Post makes a call to conscience. Please allow learners in Northwest and Southwest resume classes hitch-free. The Insider cues in, let the bells ring. And Nkambe seems to have heed the call. The Guardian Post headlines, Nkambe boycott call for school resumption, but Bamenda remains under lockdown, even as UNESCO raises bar in using e-learning in conflict-affected areas in municipal updates. A Cameroonian reigns at the helm of the UN General Assembly as former PM Philemon Yang takes command in Cameroon Tribune. The Guardian Post reports that Yang takes oath of office as the 79th United Nations General Assembly President. Then Philemon Yang vows to serve with honesty in the horizon. Just when Cameroon-China relations get a new impetus in Cameroon Tribune after visit of the President to China. Cameroon Insider sees China-Cameroon relations on the cusp as it heralds new fruitful era. Glencoe bribery case heats up and Cameroonian officials still unknown in the voice. And in no time, suspect admits bribing Cameroonian officials and even recalls one bribe taker asking for President Biya's share in the median. And the identity of Cameroonians involved still not revealed, but Akeremona says it is a matter of procedure in the horizon. Then Kambe MP and mayor are accused of arms trafficking and financing terrorism in the Post newspaper. But Honorable Ngalajera says accusations levied are sponsored smear campaigns and blackmail in breaking news Bileng. At the time, CSPH director says Bamenda liquefied petroleum gas project depicts Biya's peace restoration efforts in the Northwest. The Herald Tribune goes further to say the project is 90% complete to the delight of the Northwest CPDM MPs. Until I come your way again, this is your Hour with the Press.
Thank you very much, Emanuela. And the Hour with the Press is ruling live from Studio 4, CRTV Production Center, and Balatu in Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Press Hour. Our journalist on the set, Francis Nimpa, from that press review, pick one issue, and we're going to talk about that in 3 to 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you once again, Kilian. I'm going to pick the issue of back to school. That has been the topical issue of the week, and I'm much interested in the infrastructural preparation of back to school. You know, a lot is talked about preparation for back to school, the teachers and all of that. But when you look at the infrastructures still leave much to be desired. I had to pick some images of school infrastructure. I have like government technical college. I will take particular emphasis on technical education.
Technical education, we're going to find time to treat that again on Press Hour.
Yes, so we have like government technical college Kibu, that's in Misaje. Government technical college Njifatu, that's in Benue, the far north region. GTHS Gure in the Mayo Danai division.
Still
in the far north.
Yes, where we have floods.
In fact, these are technical colleges. When I saw where the children learn, I feel like crying, Kilian, because you can't have children study in such environment. How can, in this era, we have children going to school and sitting on bare floor to study, under the tree to study? The staff room is under the tree, like in GTC in Jifatu. The children are learning under a makeshift palm tree classroom.
Yes,
that does not depict
no
exactly. So there's really a problem at this level.
Nobody,
and I think that if we want to prepare for back to school,
yes,
we should look at some of this infrastructural development. Those schools are not created today. They are very old schools. Then you can imagine the number of years children are
That's
studying
very
in that
correct.
kind of
That's
condition.
very correct. We,
So
nobody
I feel
can
so bad
condone.
about that. And,
We all feel bad about that. But there is something. I have been close to some of the top-ranking administrators in the education system. What some of them tell me is that politicians come to them and tell them that, no, we need this school. We're going to build this school. We have mobilized the means to build a school. Give us the school, we are going to build it. When the school is given, these politicians don't be. I am not accusing politicians. I'm saying that is one of the reasons.
But the ministry that is the technical person, the technical ministry in charge of those schools, could advise these politicians. There's nothing wrong in advising them that this technical school you want to create here, it takes a lot. It is not just a pen to create a school. It takes a lot to put a technical education institution in place.
Yes.
You understand? So when politicians come, if a school stay for 6, 7 years, for example, there's a government technical college not far from here, in Emana. That technical college is 13 years old.
And
there is no government built classroom there, neither the administrative block, no workshop for the children. The children learn in open air.
Okay.
How can you justify that?
Yes.
So
Well, no.
whether the politicians clamor for the schools, the ministry has the final say as the technician in the sector to advise politicians that no, these schools we want to create, it doesn't make sense.
No,
it doesn't make sense creating a technical college that has nothing in the name of a technical college.
It makes
And
sense.
it frustrates children the more.
It makes a lot of sense, but that the follow up the promise should be fulfilled. I think that is the conclusion.
Well, it should be, but it has overtaken. It takes too long for that to come, Killian. And I must say that our country actually talks about technical education and vocational training now.
Yes.
As the way out of the present unemployment quagmire that we have.
Yes.
And if we have to embrace this,
yes,
we have to make the technical schools attractive.
Very
Why
good.
are parents not sending children to technical schools? Because you go to a technical school, it's a replica of a grammar school. It doesn't make any sense. So a parent will say, what is the child going to learn there? In carpentry, there is no workshop. In motor mechanics, there is no workshop. It was better I send him to do grammar. That is how the technical education sector is suffering.
Yes,
and so something must be done in this
yes,
area.
The problem is serious. We cannot argue that because it is a fact. But I've also told you what happens sometime. We're going to look for time to actually dig deeper into what's happening with technical school, because we know that the future is technical education. Nobody questions that fact. So we're going to, Chief, you've heard about this infrastructure. You are the person who actually lives with the people, and everything about the people should concern you. What do you have to say about what Francis has raised?
Well, thank you once more, Mr. Killian, for giving me the opportunity to say one or two things concerning the back to school and especially on the issue of infrastructures. It's not like I'm supporting the government. You know, Cameroon is a large country, large population, and the more the population grows, the more social amenities or facilities are needed. So the government cannot do all.
Everything.
The government cannot do everything, and that is why in government schools they have PTAs. So I think some of these issues that Mr. Francis have mentioned, the parents should do something. What's their contribution? Like I said, the government cannot do everything.
Yes.
The PTA has a role. The parents have the role to play because it is for the children's education. When the government, the important thing is that the government has created a school, have opened a school. So it is us, the parents, to make sure that the school go operational. And the area I want to base my concern again, as far as infrastructure is concerned, is sanitation in schools. How far are we having confidence that the toilet structures in this our school is okay? Many schools now have a lot of enrollment. From the past and even now, from statistics show that most schools have out toilets. When I say out toilet, pit toilet, it's just of reason that the government partner like the Chinese started going to some schools to build up modern toilet, what we call WC, or water system toilet, modern standard. But most schools in rural areas have but pit toilet, and some of these pit toilets are constructed in area where they cannot sustain the weight of the building. Most of the toilets collapse, and we have noticed that, and it's dangerous. And some of these concerns, they don't take into consideration the population of the children, the female and the male population. There are some toilets that have just three apartments for young men, for male, and then three for the girls, which is not enough. So the important thing is the minister should concentrate, or his collaborators should look at the toilet facilities in school. Where are they constructed? In
sanitary
areas,
situation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chief. We're going to end with Ernest from the ministry, but we have to go and get a word from Mr. Kanjo Daniel from PNDP. Is that one of the things that the program, National Community Driven Development Program, has been doing? I think I saw some of these things in areas I worked out of Yaoundé. Can you give your own contribution to this in relation to your organization?
Maybe first of all, I would like to appreciate the observations of the journalist, and it's clear that in some of our areas, when you see the infrastructure, you can cry, because it's very bitter to see our youngest one to go in those places and could not have access to sanitation facilities. But I would like to say that a lot has been done. You remember, almost in all the regions, we have constructed classrooms with a specific approach. We could not construct a classroom without water facilities, without the sanitation issues, without separating boys and girls. Because at the end of the day, as the chief was saying, you cannot construct a toilet. The same toilet, girls and boys are going there. So we need to, we were building up facilities to give the chance for a girl to have
the privacy,
accommodations, and the same for the boys. I think, like we used to say in our jargon, there are plenty fish in the sea. The decentralization is a very vast ground, and PTA can do, the government can do, the community can do, the partners can also do. Okay. So I think the complaint is clear. Now it's how to merge our efforts to improve the situation of our population.
Thank you very much for that incisive contribution. We're going to get your own contribution, Ernest Cho.
In fact, when
Francis
was talking, it's like he was spitting out what I had in my mind. And this program, being a very respectable program, should be one of those where when we come there, we should be as positive as he is, as he was. We saw floods, we saw videos of floods, we saw some shanty buildings called schools. But what bleeds my heart is these examples he took. He didn't get any from the private sector or from, those are government schools. And Kilian, when we get here, these are things that we should draw the attention of the powers that be, that we shouldn't have a government school, a public school in that type of situation. Now, we have, in the other part of it, you need to see certain schools, or schools in quotes, where students or pupils learn. That is what they call in homes of people. That's a different ballgame altogether. You see, somebody has his home. During the day, they are out and it's a school. And then in the evening, the family comes back to
that.
That's
a horrible
that's
situation.
what we have as infrastructure of learning in our schools. I want to commend the efforts of the Minister of Secondary Education, because just before the back to school, she took some measures to close some of those schools down. But the question still arises, why does it only come to us at the beginning of the school year? That we allow them function the whole year, and then before the new school year starts, the same names of those schools are not suspended but closed. The regional delegates and the regional inspectors, pedagogic advisors, they will close those schools. But as the year continues, those schools will function again. So, Madam Minister, she is doing quite a good job, and we think that she should put her foot on the accelerator. This other aspect of parents should come in to help the schools. Yes, parents should come, but the public policy presently is that we don't want PTA.
Yeah.
No,
it is public. We don't want, because the teachers, the headmasters and the rest, PTA has become some sort of mafia.
Not this time, that it is well handled, that is not going to teachers, it's not going to head teachers, it's not going to principals, it is going to a bank where the use has been...
That's school fees first. That school fees should go there and should be well handled. But the minister says we don't want PTA.
No, the minister says the PTA should be there.
Should be there.
Yes, that they pay PTA. She has given a ceiling to PTA not above 25,000 francs. And the ceiling is because different areas have different rates. Because they have different needs. They have different needs in schools. So there is PTA. She actually said that the ceiling is 25,000 CFA francs. If any principal, any school management board asks for something more than that, it is criminal. It should be reported.
Yep.
Another thing which you raised, which is correct, is the closing, the shutting down of schools. What the ministers, because you have higher education, you have secondary education, you have basic education, what they do is that they go examine and see that these schools do not respect the norms.
They don't.
They close the schools. That's a decision taken. The enforcement of that decision, it is in the hands of another administration. The administration now is the public, that's DOs, SDOs, governors. She cannot, like the other ministers cannot go and beat these people I'm talking about who do the enforcement of the
it shouldn't be as
Kilian,
though,
can I add something on this closure?
It shouldn't be as though I said something different.
Yes.
What I was saying, she now, because we have a female there.
Yes.
So let's say the Minister of Secondary Education, will leave it as such. So
yeah, we even have the Ministry of Basic Education did the same.
Yep.
They closed over 100 schools.
What I'm saying is that we have a particular government department that is in charge of education. Now it will depend on the level, primary and nursery, secondary and the rest. There's always a government department in charge of that.
Yes.
And it is that government department that is in charge of the implementation of educational policy at that level. The rest, they come as support government. I want to liaise with something that has just been raised here about the creation of those schools.
You have to be brief because this is not our topic.
No, I'm done.
Yes, and please, we are not going to go back to this. This is not our focus. Yes, Francis.
Yeah, so let me just close by saying that the school map is a preserve of these ministries.
Yes.
And they are the ones who decide where we put a school. Politicians, we all know them. To gain votes, they will come and shout, oh, I'm a politician too. So we do that. Now when we do that, there should be somebody to follow us up to see whether the schools that we came and asked for actually exist.
Exactly.
I just wanted to chip that, on this creation.
Mr. Kilian, I think let me come a bit and say something.
1 minute, please, Chief.
When I talk this idea of closing school, or the policy of closing schools, I want to really find out the criteria of closing schools that the minister have put in place to close schools. Is it only for not having authorization or what? Because there are some, now there's a
can I help you?
The government and private sector.
Can I help you?
There are some private schools that have all the qualifications, all the facilities to operate, to make students learn in a good environment. So how do you close a school which has large space for children to play, good classrooms, filled with lovers, water sanitation facilities, toilets, that water flushing toilet, not even pit toilet, the environment is good, and then they are playing there because they don't have that paper which say authorization. Which
No, but
they
they
don't
should have
They should have the paper. They should have that paper, Chief.
Let me-
No, we cannot continue.
Just
We cannot
briefly,
continue. If you look at the time, you mean we are not going to talk about our topic of today.
I intended
Francis,
just in very
Francis,
brief to say that
Francis.
there's a decree that creates the school, and there's a one that authorizes the opening.
The opening.
And that the opening, the decree is clear that the opening of such school will depend on the means available. So how does a school get created and the means are not available?
No,
It's
it is
just
possible. Not only means.
Yeah.
There are sometimes family problems that are raised. Yeah. No, to be very frank with you,
Yeah.
if
Okay.
there is a school where there are some family problems, the ministry should not authorize because the families will come and clash at one time and the children will be the ones to suffer. So there's so many things that are taken into consideration. Thank you very much for understanding. We are going to, our topic today is how is decentralization impacting education? And we're going to continue with Ernest, who is the Director of Human Resources in the Ministry of Decentralization. Tell us, give us in terms of devolution of powers, competencies, what has education sector done this far before we go into how it is impacting?
Okay. This is in fact a smooth transition from
Yes, exactly.
the press review.
Yeah.
Where we just go from the press review. When I started, and I said something concerning the school map. The school map. The first aspect when it comes to devolution of powers, government is finally devolving that power, not the complete power, but empowering the councils or the regional authorities to be able to say something, at least something on where a school should be implanted. I raised this question because we just spoke about politicians coming and creating schools everywhere. The first devolved power when it comes to the sector of education is to be able to participate in the construction. That is, I'm talking about the regional council or the municipal council in the construction, the equipment, the extension of a school. Now, secondary education is for the regions, primary and nursery education is for the councils. After you have done that, or that normally should follow when you have participated in the elaboration of that school map. Before, what we are decrying here is what? People live here, get down to a locality, create a school from here, and say, I can call here, call here, call here. I want a school in my village so that when I get there, each time I'm passing, they say, no,
He's the one who
brought us school. You were the one, and then it takes so long before that school finally even starts. You could go make a school, 10 schools in one locality. Meanwhile, in the next village, there is no.
School.
That is where the need arises. They don't have a prominent politician. What happens to them?
So what you're saying is that regional
council.
councils should
Fine.
make sure that
And that
the
is
mapping,
exactly what the law says.
Okay.
It now comes from them. The manifest proposal comes from them. So that the government, the central administration, doesn't go and impose something on somewhere. That is the first. The second, I spoke about the construction and the equipment and the rest. Now, they should also be able to participate in the elaboration of curricula. Because when we talk about the education sector, there are three major domains. That's the container, the content, and then some sort of evaluation. We're talking about literacy. We're talking about technical education, vocational education. That is how we call it. Vocational education.
Yes, I'm going to leave from you as an authority from the Ministry of Decentralization to get someone who is a local authority, Chief Nasako Daniel Mulundo the Fourth. Tell us what is the situation in Barumbi Mbo in terms of devolution of power, because you have to, as a traditional, it is said that the traditional rulers actually own the land. They are the ones who have the people. All the other administrations, they are doing some other administrative work. So what is your role and how are you helping to make sure that decentralization impacts education in your area?
Yeah, thank you once more, Mr. Killian. And this particular topic concerning schools and decentralization is a very pertinent issue, especially in my area and my personal self, because if I'm educated, if I'm here today because I'm educated, because if you are not educated, you cannot be in a panel like this. And so when you are managing a community with uneducated people, young men who are, they say the young people are the future of tomorrow, then there's a community with where education is almost the least. That is it's a terrible situation, and it is our cry that the government should do everything to make sure that they join with the local community, the local leaders like us, to find out the situation of various schools in our community. Like now, my school, my children don't go to school. My village is like, we know the situation now, how it is. The only 4 classrooms, so that's for 2 classrooms and a toilet, which the government created 17 years ago. 17 years ago. It's not open, it had been invaded. There's no school. The classroom has been taken by our brothers who we know very well, who don't want to see children go to school. In my 17 years. So, as for now, I'm speaking, all the children who are supposed to go to school are all engaged in fishing. They are all fishermen. So tell me the type of community which we are building tomorrow. So at least we have a leader who said that I'm here because I went to school. Of course, our big man is there because he went to school. So if we don't have schools are not going operation in our communities, it's a situation which the government has to concern. So it is us, the ministries, to consult the traditional rulers to find out the situation of our various villages, and not to consult people who will not tell them the truth. Because you want to build a school in Bo Barombi, you award the contract. They give the contract, they may give the contract to a contractor who does not know Barombi. But because he needs money, he has taken his money. In the course of taking material to the area, he discovered that he has to cross the lake. He has to carry 5 bags of cement in one boat. Okay. 5 bags of cement cannot enter a fishing boat, which were made out of an umbrella tree.
Thank you. The situation is really disturbing.
Where we are calling on the government. Yes. Let me say something. So for this reason, the sub-divisional officer for Kumba 1 subdivision had a meeting with the entire community to talk about Mbo Barombi children going back to school. That meeting took place last Wednesday, and I appreciated the effort of that sub-divisional officer because he looked at he is closer to the people. That's why we're saying that decentralization should be right down there, even at the level of territorial administration. They should decentralize, activities.
The supervisory authorities.
Most of the supervisory work is left in the hands of senior divisional officers who don't visit those people, those areas. But sub-divisional officers, at their leisure time, they can visit a chief, find out what's going on, and then you will know the first-hand information.
That message is clear. Thank you very much, Chief.
I just wanted to add something.
Yes.
Please. We are talking about the impact of decentralization.
Yes.
And he being a traditional ruler,
yes,
wants that they should be given some pride of place inside in the whole process.
Yes.
And we have our same code here, and we come from our areas, all of us, this language we speak, shows that we are from either the northwest or the southwest, or from both.
Yes.
And you know how
Cameroonians who understand what is happening.
Who know how these 2 regions are organized by this code.
Yes.
We have the House of Chiefs, which already means that they are already been taken into consideration. It means slowly but surely we'll get to a point where before anything is done, their advice must come.
Okay.
That is decentralization.
Thank you very much. So you have your place, Chief. That's what the official from the Ministry of Decentralization.
Yes, the law says we have a place, but we don't have the right to execute. We don't have the right to talk.
Well,
why do you give somebody the right in the place, then he cannot perform?
That's why you are here,
Those are
Chief.
the situation.
You are here to...
a parliamentarian in the National Assembly conceives and passes laws. The execution of the laws doesn't fall on the parliamentarian.
Yes, and then I just wanted to add that, Chief, That's why you are here. You know the people who are watching you. And during those consultations, you raise some of these things you are talking about. Now, I'm going to move to the official of the PNDP, who has been doing a lot in education because it's a partner. Cameroon works with the devolved services. Cameroon works with government directly, as government rather directly. Cameroon works with partner, and PNDP happens to be a partner. You've been involved in education. Before you give your contribution, let me ask you, what is the situation of PNDP? For how long has PNDP worked in Cameroon, and what this far?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kilian. I would love to give my own point of view in the debate. Yeah, to say that, and it's one of the contribution of PNDP, the participatory approach, we cannot do it from our office. Mm-hmm. And the past decade, we have been doing participatory approach from the grassroots level. The chiefs are involved. Because what you raise is that we have infrastructure not needed by the population, but called by a parliamentarian or somebody. That is a very bad example. Mm-hmm. The good example is that it's a community to decide where they want to have their schools. And now all the stakeholders mobilize the resources and go in for implementation. When we miss that level, we always have complaints. Okay. And unfortunately, our chief is presenting the difficulties.
Exactly. So my question comes back. PNDP, that is a National Community Driven Development Program, has been working in phases, and you came past the last phase. Mm-hmm. Give us the phases and let us look at it briefly.
The first phase was 2004, 2009, and it was in six regions: the Northwest, the Littoral, the Southwest were not involved. Mm-hmm. The second phase from 2010 to 2013 extended to 2016. It was the extension in all the regions, and from 2016 till date, we are doing consolidation of all what we have been implementing. You know, even the books we talk about is a kind, PNDP is a research action. We put in place a kind of process, and we implement it, we evaluate it. At the end of the day, we see how we can improve on the accompaniment of our community.
So what have you achieved? You say the last phase ended in 2022, if I'm not making a mistake. 2022.
Extended to 2024.
Okay, this year.
Yeah.
So can you just give us some of the achievements?
The achievements, they are, I will not name all the achievements, yes, but you are in the right place. Yes. Even my neighbor, Francis, can give more achievements. The first achievement I would like to emphasize is the resources of human resources. Mm. You know, in 2009, they carried out the evaluation of the resources in the council, and we discovered that one of the problems is not the financial resources, is the human resources. And then you have decided to assist the council by recruiting staffs. Today, we are so proud of them because they are finance officers, they are municipal treasurers,
development officers,
they are secretary generals. It's because of the well identification of the needs. You can name infrastructure in almost all the sectors. You see roads, you see classrooms, we see bridges, all what with the contribution of the community.
Yes, and you have a book that you published this year. It's titled Decentralization and Local Development in Cameroon, a Critical Analysis of PNDP. Tell us briefly who is interested in this book.
The book is, we have all the researchers. You know, we have many students today, even senior staff involved in training, decentralization training in our state of university, also in the colleges. You have the economic operators. You have all those who are involved in the decentralization, making policies, and they need to get ideas from the experience of PNDP.
Thank you.
Evaluated by higher senior professors.
Yes, in education, because that's our focus. What can we say about education? We're going to move back on the rails.
For us, the education need the involvement of all the stakeholders.
Yes.
From the grassroots. For us, the school is a problem of the community before being the problem of the state. And the community need to be involved as well as all the staff in the school.
I like the way you've put it. It is first of all a problem of the community. And we're talking about that. How is the Ministry of Decentralization carrying out this with what he has said into consideration?
Yeah, thank you once more. I think what I should say here perhaps should be on focus.
Yes.
Last year and this year, if you followed the speech, the end of year speech from the President of the Republic last December, you will see a particular aspect, like a prescription given to the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development to not only speed up, but to implement citizen participation. So if for last year and this year, those were our, what do you call them? Not the modus operandi, but something that you have to do, the leitmotif.
Yes.
Citizen orientation, citizen participation. And it's not just a buzzword, it's not just... at the end, with our German partners,
yes,
the first thing that we came out with was the guide, the councillor's guide, because the councillor is the person who is voted. All we have, but different councils have different number of councillors, and each councillor should be able to report. So now we have a councillor's guide that was financed jointly by the German people, GIZ. I hope I'm not doing advertising.
No, it is not, because we talk about development.
Fine. And then we came now with two texts that the minister took on this participation, citizen participation. One, the modalities of the creation and functioning of quarter committees.
Okay.
Quarter committees in towns, village committees in the villages, because you will get to a point where you will not be able to carry out, a council or a region without having the approval, not the approval, but at least some sort of advice, opinion from people who live there in that quarter or in that community. That's what we call the citizen participation, as PNDP was doing. That is exactly what the ministry is doing now. So we have gone a long way, and we think that in the coming years, mayors or heads of regional assemblies who are people who are development oriented will not be able to work without moving with the people of the quarter and neighborhood.
Yes, that you well said. But the problem today, acute problem in the local authorities, local development, is local public service, because they need not only the transfer of financial competence, they need the transfer of human resources.
Yep.
What is happening in this line?
You will not have asked any other better person than me.
Yes, exactly. You are the director of human resources.
And that is my dossier.
Yes, tell us.
That is my dossier.
Yes, summarize that dossier to us.
It's a dossier that at one point got right to the highest level of state. And you should also understand that most of the time we will get things, but not all is right at the same time. You can come out with a write-up and see that there are certain things that have to be tailored left and right. Tomorrow, Kilian done before.
Yes.
Because we have a coordination meeting every Monday. And every Monday morning, the first point on the agenda is I make a report on that dossier. When I will give my report to the minister tomorrow.
You will include that?
No, it is there. It's not like I will include that. I'm not giving the place to talk on anything.
Okay.
There are stated make a point on the dossier on the local public service.
You have not talked about NASLA, the National School for Local Development, which is already trying to handle that problem. Is it?
No. The local public service, NASLA is in charge of training.
Yes.
NASLA is in charge of training. PNDP too, they have been going around training people. And there was a time when I moved throughout the entire republic with people from NASLA and people from PNDP. You should know them. I've moved around the 10 regions of this country to give notes to all the councils and to all the regional councils, be they the executives. That's what we have done. And this year we were planning to move towards them to train personnel, because we have a different set of training that we give to personnel, and we have a different set of certifying trainings must go to NASLA. But this other one, capacity building and the rest, those ones are done by the ministry.
Okay.
So we are moving towards creating a local public service of quality. Before we got here, we were talking about how personnel is being managed in the council. It is chaotic, catastrophic. A mayor recruits you today, tomorrow is sacking you, doesn't know that he has already entered into a contractual agreement with you, and you realize that most of the time they are either dragged to court and we want a local public service that will not have the same discrepancies that we have in the
present
in the public service of the state.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
yes,
description by the minister.
Coming from the grassroots, you should know something about what the director is talking about.
Yes, I think what the director is saying is a reality, is truth, and nothing but the truth. And we want to appreciate the present minister for being appointed as the Minister of Decentralization. You know, and the credit will go first to the head of state for hearing to the people's cry, because I realize that decentralization is the only form of government that can change the situation of this country. Before now, the activities of decentralization were under the Minister of Territorial Administration, and things were not moving. The governance was poor, and maybe that is why we had all these problems. First, at the level of the council, the Secretary Generals who graduated from CEFAM they made themselves lords of the council, because the mayors who came at that time were just anybody could have been a mayor. From garage, from the quarter, you just take a month from Jangi House, you go and campaign and you become a mayor. So when they meet these people, they allowed the administration in the hands of the Secretary Generals, and the Secretary Generals were people recruiting. And they are not recruiting people who had certificate more than what they brought from CEFAM. So it made most of the council had only first school, who could not contribute anything in the development of the council. And that is why there was one mayor who was elected, one guy who was elected as mayor.
Yes, you don't call his name?
Yes, he was elected as mayor. When he went to his recruitment employment room, he saw that all his staff were all first school, and they were aging. He had to meet the senior divisional officer to complain. But he was told that you cannot recruit what you cannot pay. You either remove them, you bring new one, you remove them, you pay them, or then you bring new one. So he was forced to maintain those staff until his mandate ended. And believe me, that was the situation. So the coming of decentralization now with our new ministry, I appreciate him because of the first action that he took. First, all council workers were free to go for 3 months training. Is it 3 months or 6 months, the director? Is it 3 or 6?
3.
All 3. Without any discrimination. You don't need authorization from the Secretary General or from the mayor. Once you show your interest, you go, you are given. And many of those workers were trained. And that is why now the council can be proud of having some staff who can contribute. And then now with the coming of a retraining of a NASLA now, which the director has said, and the council will be proud now of having good trained personnel who will be contributing ideas, because the whole issue in this country is people can contribute ideas, people with initiative. Thank God we have a candidate from Pan-African Institute, St. Monica, St. Daniel Institute, and the other community development schools in Kumba, which the councils or the councils can take upon themselves and recruit and help them in coming up with good initiatives and ideas in council. So we had all these problems in councils because, like the man of PNDP said, PNDP came up with a program which he did not mention, communal development plan. That plan was introduced because PNDP realized that most of the council workers were all first school, they had no knowledge. So they organized a combined program, workers for the council and councillors. The councillors were just to deliberate. The worker in the council were to do the work, the functioning. So the PNP did that so that the council should have a type of balance and the support from FECOM. You understand? So with the coming now of this, we are confident that the
things will
have
be better. Now, it's just a wish, Francis.
Yes, Mr.
It's just a wish.
For coming to me.
Should there be a minimum certificate for someone to become mayor? That is minimum. Let us look at that as we phase out in this program.
Killian, rather, I think our topic is how is all of this impacting education. So when you start coming off,
I know.
It means we'll focus more on the qualification of mayors.
Before I come to you, I'm going to ask.
I want to talk particularly on education.
From when this question is answered, you'll be the one to come in. And I'm going to ask the Director of Human Resources in the ministry. Can we be thinking of setting a standard, minimum, for you to become mayor? Because when the councillors are elected, because the mayor is a councillor, for any person among the councillors to be mayor, should there not be a minimum certified document?
No. For all our elective positions,
we are thinking of seeing. Shouldn't that be a subject for
what I'm saying is that the way we are moving, we will finally get to a point where those people will be weeded out without you saying that you must go and get this. You will be weeded out, or you realize that you cannot. When you become a mayor and where you are, before you say something, you realize that there are people who are more qualified than you in any.
The point is that they exclude those who are. That's just what she was saying. That when they have that complex, they make sure that anyone who is more intelligent or above them, they frustrate the person and push that.
They will be weeded out, because how do you become a mayor? A mayor is elected by the councillors. It is them.
Someone can have money and bribe the other councillors.
So who do you blame? The person who is bribed or the person who bribed?
And the point is that the ministry can take this type of shotgun measures to make sure that people are not.
There are some systems where they have put minimum academic qualifications requirements to get into public office.
Yes.
There are.
Yeah,
Mr. Killian.
But when it comes to elective office,
yes,
no, it is political. It is your aura that makes you get into an elective office.
Okay,
I understand that. I think I'll have to come in.
On this topic, he's contributing on this particular one. It's important because we are talking about local administration.
Because at the end of the day,
Mr. Killian,
the quality of the mayor will also determine the level of the impact of education that he gives there.
One of our best mayors did not have a certificate.
Okay.
I will call the mayor of Kutaba, a former one.
Yes.
But he was ready to implement the policy.
It's a mindset.
So for me, it's a kind of mindset disposition.
Yes.
If the mayors are trained, that is why I'm saying that the challenge is at the level of the political parties to train their candidates at this very position. But it's not the degree who makes us to be better.
To be developmental oriented.
Mr. PNDP, please permit me differ from you a bit. What you've mentioned, I don't think a political party should train you. They are not the people who are sending you to become a mayor. You opt to become a mayor. What we are saying here is this. I was a member of a major national dialogue. I was a member of commission number 8. And in that commission, we had 8 mayors. And of course, Professor Ngwese, who is now in Canada, was the president. In that, during the debate, we had the largest population because we had to determine the fate of this country, that commission. I proposed 7 points. Because you write and you submit.
Just briefly, because you have to.
So now, in that, I proposed, after a mayor stood up and said that supervisory authorities are hanging on them, they don't allow them to work. a lady from diaspora stood up and said, how can a senior judicial officer from INAM not control you when you don't have anything on your head? So I stood up and I proposed that for any mayor to become, for anybody to become a mayor, he must have at least a degree. If it is academic degree, they must make sure that the people you are recruiting who should work with you should be professionals.
Okay, thank you. The point is made. The point is made, please. Thank you very much, Chief.
Yes,
Francis.
Kilian, in fact, I've been silent for
yes,
a while.
I came to you.
Let me come.
I came to you and you went
no, because I was not getting it.
Now you have got it. Thank you.
Now
you've got it.
How decentralization has impacted education.
Yes.
I want to say that we are talking about decentralization today, which has been talked about for the past, since 1996.
Yes.
And in 2019, there was a law to institute the General Court of Regional and Local Authorities.
Yes.
This law in Book 4, Part 2, Chapter 3, is clear on education.
Yes.
Yeah.
That the local councils will be able to create, equip, and maintain schools and colleges. And that they will be able to recruit and manage teaching and support staff.
Yes.
Where are we 5 years today? So when we talk decentralization, how it's impacting education, this is it, but nothing is done here. 5 years after this law, and the President of the Republic, I remember, said we have to fast track decentralization. But we are 5 years, Kilian, as I'm saying, these aspects of the law I'm talking about, the teachers have not still been recruited. They are still being recruited by the central government. They are still being posted. The schools are still managed. That's why we have the kind of classrooms I cited here.
No.
Because if they were managed by the regional council 5 years on,
yes,
we will not be talking what we are talking
now,
today. So there's much
it is very good.
Can I come in?
Before you come in, it's good that you do that research. Let me send you, if we are on this program next time, you will admit what I'm saying, that there are some ministries of education that have devolved much of these powers, financial especially, and the mayors and some of the local administrators are embarrassed because they did not have the plan to execute. I am sending you to go execute. This is a fact. Thank you.
And you see, you are almost taking the wind out of my sails.
Okay.
Because we have not been prepared.
So how can we not be prepared?
That is what we
are doing. The local administration we are talking about is not prepared.
It means we are joking. We have to be serious in things about this nation. You can't have a law and 5 years after all the aspects of that law not is respected.
Because
we are going?
Because we have so many actors in decentralization. The state does this one. I just told him that a parliamentarian discusses the law, proposes, the President of the Republic enacts and promulgates, and then it comes down for implementation. Now at the level of implementation, because we have everything here, it's so good.
It's very good. That's what I'm saying. And appreciating the law.
Now we are in a situation where people have been used to doing things, and that is why this same law gave us the obligation, the duty to train these mayors within the 6 months of them getting into office, the mayors and all the executives. But you realize the more you are teaching them that things are changing, change is not everybody likes it.
So you took 5 years to train the mayors who are now leaving office?
No.
You will take a new group and start training again? Then we remain on the spot. Training, and nothing changes. It's a pity that we have all of this happening.
6 months into office, you train them. And what do? You are doing follow-up. People keep on going to old methods. Look at the war that's happening between mayor and SG. And you have to tell the SG that the mayor is your boss. And you understand?
Now, let me before we give a conclusive statement. This is what happened, and finance controllers will accept what I'm saying because I covered some of these. The public investment budget, the real figures were not coming to the central administration because some of the people who are working in the councils did not know how to build, to give the exact investment that they themselves have done. That is, you go to the field, paradoxically, you see work, but when you come, you see it's 20%, it's 30%, whereas they have realized about 40 to 50%. This is a fact. Let us go.
No, but if this is the fact,
that will be your last statement.
Yes, that will be my last statement.
Yes.
I'm saying that if this is the fact, like you're saying, and the authorities of this country, begin from the number one man, the President of the Republic, he has given a very good intention to develop this country through decentralization.
Yes.
And we have 5 years, and some individuals are behaving the way all of you are saying. They need to train this.
Very
some
good.
go this.
We accept.
Can the authorities up not correct this?
They have listened
allow
to
Cameroonians like this?
They are listening to
because
me.
the development,
that was your last
rules
word,
of this,
please.
of our
our
country
time is up.
is based
our
on
time
this
is up.
lack of
Yes,
decentralization,
your last
which
point,
has led us to
Daniel.
the problem that we have today.
Your last word.
I want us to agree that there's a need to a technical assistance of councils.
Thank you very much. That is capital. Yes, I'm going to give Chief, just in 30 seconds.
Only 30 seconds?
Yes.
Okay, I want to say that first, even if you have to condemn somebody, you must say some of these good things.
Yes.
The government has done well to come out with decentralization.
Mm.
All the ministers, our minister, decentralization, Mindu, agriculture, all are doing everywhere to respect, to make sure that decentralization is objective in Cameroon.
Yes.
And for all Cameroonians to know that decentralization has come to stay and is real.
Thank you very
but
much.
The problem, the people who are bringing down or watching down the whole issue of decentralization are the supervisory authorities.
Thank you
They
very
are not
much.
working
Thank
in
you.
good collaboration
Well,
with
then-
the traditional rulers.
Thank you.
So the governors should put these people, to give them, to put them the stand, should put them to order, because the government and minister cannot be doing everything to push projects in communities. The people don't realize the project.
Yes,
People
traditional rulers.
fighting,
Traditional rulers have
have-
to be
yes,
considered
we have
in
problem
all
now.
the.
Yes, we have problem, Mr.
because
Killian.
yes, Chief.
We have problem
Chief,
now in this country
Chief,
because the
Chief,
people don't know what
yes,
the government
we've
is
understood
doing.
you. Thank you
The
very
people
much.
don't know
Thank
what
you.
the government is doing to
Time
the
check.
communities.
Time check, please. Thank
So
you
they have
very
to
much.
check all that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Traditional rulers should be considered in everything that concerns decentralization.
Decentralization has come to take development down
Forward.
to the roots,
Yes.
to the people.
Yes.
Which means that let's go back to our topic.
No,
How
we
has
cannot. No,
decentralization-
no, we are not developing any.
No, I'm ending.
Yes.
I'm ending.
Yes.
And because I want to end with our topic.
Yes.
If implemented
Yes.
as in this code, we will have meaningful development in this country.
Thank you very much. And that is Ernest Chongu, Director of Human Resources in the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development. We also had His Royal Highness Nasako Daniel Molondo, the fourth traditional ruler of Baron Bimbo in Kumba. Thank you very much, Mr. Kanjo Daniel, PNDP, Regional Coordinator for the Littoral Region. Thank you very much, Nimpa Francis, journalist, Radio Hot Cocoa. Impamenda, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you. You are the ones who keep us here. Thank you for watching. You can watch a rebroadcast of this program on Monday at 2:30 on CRTV Premium, where you are right now, or on CRTV News on Wednesday at 9 p.m. after the news is in French. Thank you very much, and stay blessed.